Good.
Fuck.
Oh god,
Turn that fucking thing down.
Well,
Turn it down. Turn it down. Yep, all the way down. Okay. all the fucking way down. Stop. Is it all the way down?
Yes, it's
Okay,
all the way
good.
down. I made sure.
Fuck. Fucking weirdo.
I do.
Now we get to do this for hours.
Yay.
Hey, Visas.
Visa.
Where's Michael?
Are you Michael?
There you are, Michael.
You want to learn about donuts, my friend?
My donuts.
Yeah.
You know how many through holes are in my donut?
Only 4.
What? 4 fucking through holes.
It's a jelly-filled donut.
Oh my god.
This is stupid. Let's go.
Okay. It's got holes and it's a fucking jelly donut.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Alright,
Hi.
welcome to the thing, part 2.
Hello.
So it's season 2 now. Well, part 1, because all the seasons going forward are really long, so we decided to cut them into parts. Because the last one was 12 episodes, and that ended up being fucking forever, and nobody wanted to watch it.
Yep.
So we're trying to make it short. So now this is episode 1 through 12.
Half of the season feels like a whole season.
Yeah, honestly.
It really does.
They're very condensed in this season.
I agree.
Yeah,
Oh,
season
man.
2 is one of the more memorable ones. Season 2 and 3 are typically the ones people quote the most
Oh man.
that I've found.
I haven't seen them.
Well, yeah, you've seen 12 of them.
12 of them?
You've seen 12 whole episodes.
That's too much.
Yeah, sorry it took forever to put this out, but I was procrastinating and we got kicked out of our closet, but now we have an even better recording place.
That's nice.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah. Should we start it? Should we go?
No.
No.
I want to take a big fat thought process for a while.
Okay.
Where the fuck are you hate
Episode
me.
1.
You hate me.
Alright, are we ready?
I'm rolling the sleeves up. It means we're ready.
Alright. Episode 1. How to fire a rifle without really trying. It starts at the Texas State Fair. Bobby's trying to win weird fair games, but he sucks at all of them except for the duck shooting one. Hank is impressed and wants Bobby to have his own rifle, but Peggy is very reluctant of that. Hank takes Bobby to Megalobart.
Megalobart.
Megalobart!
Simpy Simpson
We're a
Megalobart.
Simpson podcast now. The Simpsons King of the Hill crossover. Hank takes Bobby to Megalomart to buy a gun and takes him to the gun range to practice. Bobby does extremely well and a club member suggests they join a tournament, as this plot happens in many King of the Hill. Have you noticed that the plot in these King of the Hill show that it's all they don't want to do a thing and then they're good at it and then they are invited to a tournament. And
Yeah.
it's in the plot like 3 times.
Definitely.
Hank attempts to shoot, but he has flashbacks to his horrible childhood with Cotton. Hank gets upset about his lack of skill, and Hank enrolls Bobby in a safety course to try to make Bobby lose interest in shooting altogether. Bobby continues to be good while Hank makes up excuses not to go. Bobby tries to help Hank, but Hank isn't having it. The inconceivable guy from The Princess Bride comes in and tries to help Hank be better at shooting. Hank continues to make excuses as to why he doesn't shoot, avoiding the subject altogether. And the guys confront Hank about guns being dangerous to try to make Hank, go back to the tournament. Hank decides to quit the tournament and it makes Bobby really upset. Peggy confronts Hank about being a dick and Hank admits to being bad at shooting. Hank realizes how upset Bobby is and decides to pull through for him. Bobby gets too excited and Hank reluctantly goes to the sports therapist that he met earlier. Hank opens up about his childhood and learns how to distract himself while he's shooting. The tournament starts and Hank is still extremely nervous, but gets progressively better throughout the tournament. Cotton shows up at the last minute to ridicule Hank. Hank gets executive dysfunction at the last trial and misses, losing the whole tournament. However, Bobby is more excited just to be with his dad than losing in the first place. And that's the end of episode 1.
Damn. This one was really nice.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
It was very well put together.
I can't believe how bad Hank, of all people, would be bad at shooting. Can you believe that, Allie?
I know, they even made a whole PC game for Windows 98 about hunting and shooting with Hank.
Oh my god. It definitely gives a lot more interesting little flaws to his character other than his narrow urethra.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the first podcast, that Hank is a bit too successful in his life, so he definitely needs to be taken down a peg.
Successful, quote unquote. Yeah.
Successful in his own worldview, anyway.
Right. It's okay to line up the sights, Bobby. It's not cheating. That was funny. That was a funny line I caught right at the beginning when he was shooting the ducks.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Bobby is really bad at gun safety.
Oh,
and, like,
man.
multiple times during the episode, he, like, points the guns at people unintentionally.
Yeah. I like how Bobby's incompetent and everyone needs to rein him in.
I don't even know if that was intentional. I think it's just...
Quirks and
Yeah, I'm always terrified of guns. Because when I was younger, I had a shotgun that if you, like, shook it hard enough, it would fire.
That's not okay.
I take gun safety seriously because I keep that barrel pointed away from people at all times,
Can't
as you
handle
should.
that. That's horrible. No, I've never had guns, as you know. I never grew up doing that. I've never shot a real gun. There was a heartbeat edit when he was taking aim, Bobby, at one point.
Oh.
Either that or Hank, I can't remember right now. But it was just like silence and then a heartbeat, and that freaking scared the crap out of me. It was a fun edit. I liked it. He must have killed 1,000 ducks, says Hank to Peggy. I thought that was funny. There's not 1,000 ducks in that game.
No, absolutely not. There were maybe 20. We should have counted them.
Oh, man. Not many. Probably, yeah, I would think 20 or 30.
Yeah.
What was your favorite quote? Do you have any quotes?
No, I don't really write down the quote. I liked the part where he went to the sports therapist, and then he finally opens up, and then the therapist just doesn't give a shit. He just wants him to do what he does.
Right, I love that.
That's every therapist I've been to. I go to very cheap ones.
Yeah,
So that would do it.
I've only been to one, but yeah, that was a cool little character. I didn't know I didn't know shooting was a sport myself, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea until this episode.
Yeah, there's very competitive things. The archery range that I went to had gun tournaments as well, but I was more interested in archery at the time.
In this one, Bobby turns out to just not care. He's just like, oh yeah, we got second place.
Yeah, Hank always, I think he projects his own worldview onto Bobby when Bobby just wants to have fun and be with his dad.
Isn't that all dads, though?
That is absolutely all dads.
At least my dad, for sure. The only thing I ever did with him was he asked us what he wanted to do, but we'd always typically just kind of do the things that he's enjoying. I can imagine not much of that happened with you. But anyway, when Hank was really just upset and angry that he couldn't shoot straight and he was really like insecure and Bobby was like talking about how excited he was to shoot and how Peggy was really happy to, fucking Hank said, let's see him hold down a job and be so good. That was a good quote.
That is all dads. I hate you fucking
I really liked that one. That was really nice.
I thought of that too, and I was like, that's the most Hank thing.
He just went back on where he needed to go.
Always gotta one-up people.
Definitely. The sports psychologist was just 100% my favorite character of this episode, just because of how like real it was, honestly.
I like how they drew him like the inconceivable guy.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the little balding. They made it look like the voice actor.
Right. That's pretty cool. I love it when they do that stuff.
Me too.
Remember last season when they did that episode with those famous people?
Mm-hmm.
That was nice.
Yeah.
It was cool little designs.
Yeah, I like when they look exactly like their acting counterparts, but they're a completely different character, like this.
Right.
It's not the actor. It's just he's a sports therapist.
Right. He was good at it too.
Yeah.
That was really good acting. Your father's love for guns is unconditional, says Peggy to Bobby. That's a good quote too.
The one where Bobby wants to get a gun rack for his bike.
I love that.
I believe he says, do you know how long I've been waiting for you to ask me that?
Right, I just wrote down gun rack on a bike. But yeah. Guns are dangerous, says Bobby. What? Says Dale from behind the fence.
And then they all slowly walk over.
They just mitosis through the fence. Or what's that called?
It's osmosis.
Osmosis, okay.
Mitosis is cell division.
Oh, okay. That's close enough. That's funny. I love that. Dale's my favorite, too. Man, that show's good. Bobby's response to bounce back from Hank's flip-flop, unreliable parenting shows how strong-willed he is, honestly.
Yeah, he is very resilient.
He just kind of just sits there and takes it.
He definitely knows what he wants.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
Whether
he knows it or not.
He's definitely getting more confident in the last season.
Yeah.
As a person.
And both in a person and the voice actress that voices him, I think she has definitely gotten the ground of Bobby quite well in this season.
She's really good at him. I've never had an interesting gun safety instructor.
Yeah, they're all boring as shit. They're all fucking know-it-alls. They're fucking the worst people.
I haven't passed mine because of that. I want my binky back.
I want my binky back.
Says young Hank in the flashback.
He looked way too old to want a pacifier, and that they should have tried to draw him a little younger.
That would have been better, yeah.
He looked like at least 10.
Right. Yeah.
But it's supposed to be that he's like 2 or 3.
Really?
That's what my interpretation.
Because, yeah, if you're asking for a binky, but then you could also argue he was just being shown as someone who latches onto things and is hard at getting rid of stuff, so that he might just be needing it at 8 years old.
Yeah, because typically when you take something away from a kid that they haven't given up themselves, it just destroys them.
Right.
I can say through personal experience.
And you can say that's just weakness. That's just to show weakness.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it against Cotton to just fucking yank a pacifier from a child at 1 year old.
You think you can have this pacifier when I gave up my shins for fucking, I don't care. It's Cotton, dude.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on this episode.
Alright, next one.
Yep.
Episode 2, Texas City Twister. Hank wakes up and is upset at Luann crossing his personal boundaries. Luann owes 6 months' rent at the trailer park that she used to live in. Hank confronts Luann and she gets upset. Hank prepares to fix the trailer to try to get Luann to move out. The guys struggle to winch the trailer, but in the end they succeed. Hank tells Luann that her trailer is back, but she gets even more upset and Peggy decides to take her side. Luann agrees to move out, but is sad to do so. Peggy is upset at Hank's lack of emotion and he starts a falling out with Peggy who leaves with Luann. It's revealed that a tornado warning is in effect for Arlen, and Hank heads to the trailer park to help Peggy in the storm. Bill heads out to help people because of his military duties, while Dale plans to go storm chasing with Boomhauer, making Hank paranoid. Hank's truck breaks down on the way and he goes to Megalomart, causing him delays. Dale freaks out at the tornado, spilling ant poison on the road, which causes a roadblock. At the roadblock, Bill is reluctant about letting Hank pass, making him regret all of his past mistakes. Hank shows up at the trailer park and struggles to get to the storm shelter. Hank apologizes and confesses his love for Peggy while being slowly stripped by the storm. Hank makes his way into the storm shelter during the eye of the storm, and after it's over, he lets Luann move back into their house. And that's the end of the episode.
I love that one, too. That one was super nice.
It was pretty alright. I've seen it a bunch, so it's kind of numbed down to me. But it is a very well-rounded episode.
It's nice. Why does Hank have a coat? It's Texas. He puts on a full coat. Well, they were doing laundry, you know? Why does he have a coat? That's weird to me.
I mean, the next episode, episode 13, the one after we finish this podcast, will kind of show that.
Okay. 6 a.m. and the boy already ain't right. That was great when he put his shirt on. He put the shirt on and then slid down and pulls underwear off and put that in the wash. All in one swoop motion.
I aspire to have that skill. Peggy mentions her hatred towards Dr. Demento, the guy who made Weird Al famous.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't catch that at all.
Yeah, when they're leaving to go to the trailer park.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
She was like, we better leave before Dr. Demento starts stinking up the airway.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's a cool cut.
Which is good, because they mentioned Weird Al in a later episode in this
Wow. Weird Al's great.
In this episode, it's the animation cells. They have very obvious shadows in this, and that distracts me.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I should explain. Cell animation. It's where you have a very clear plastic sheet. It's like a laminate. And then you draw the lines on it. You draw the characters on it, on top of the background. And then that's what is meant to move. And because it's on a different layer than the background, if you have it too far, it will cast a shadow.
Oh, yeah, I've seen some interviews of them doing that, I think.
Probably.
Showing that kind of the artwork there.
It's why the backgrounds always look different than the main people that they're showing.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Peggy was sitting down and then Luann walks in and she starts watching the TV with her?
Mm-hmm.
And she said something along, I can't remember what it was, but she was like, that hot guy or whatever, he's so hot. And then Peggy's like, Luann, get out of my mind. Or get out of my mind, Luann.
I like that too.
I've quoted that to you recently.
Oh, have you?
Out of the...
Oh, you're
I
right.
have. I picked that one up because of the show.
It's good.
It's really good. I like it. Hank gives Luann a card, like when she is getting kicked out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it was like a discount or a punch card.
Oh, yeah,
It was a punch card from the...
Yeah, because trailers use propane.
Yeah, and he's like, and then Luann just starts crying and running out, and he's like, "What? That card is just like cash." that was awesome.
That's Hank.
I love that stuff. Oh my god, Bobby was like very potent. Bobby in this episode.
He had a very hard set goal. He wanted that egg to go through the brick wall, like Dale said.
Maybe, just maybe, they'll have fruit pies. Another quote from Bobby. I love that.
I love his obsession with fruit pies, because I, too, love me some fruit pies.
You are Bobby.
You're right.
Did you see the record that was impaled in the phone pole?
Yes, I did.
That was cool.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that from the tornado that hit here.
That's crazy.
Oh,
I never saw anything. I was too young to remember it. Yeah. Man. Hank was out with his giblets in the tornado, and he said, "I love you, Peggy." Whatever, I don't remember the rest of it, but he was just fucking bare ass, stark ass.
He was flapping in the wind.
That was great. I love that we saw his tiny little butt cheeks.
It's true.
Not his underwear though. He didn't lose his underwear.
He did not lose his underwear.
He did not. I did not have losing my underwear with that woman. Okay. When Bill was all sergeant-y and just an asshole, and he just, I can't hear you. Man, that triggered me.
Why did that trigger you?
I don't know. It just felt weird hearing that from the most insecure character.
Honestly. Well, that's why he did it, because he has nothing going on in his life. This is one moment to shine.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's all I have to say with that one.
All right, next episode. Episode 3, The Arrowhead. Hank shows off his new tiller to the neighborhood and wants Bobby to watch. Hank's tiller gets damaged by a native arrowhead, and soon Hank finds more artifacts, but has no respect for any of them, and decides to ask John Redcorn to identify it. John identifies it as an arrow straightener, and tells him that it'll only be worth a couple of dollars to a museum. Hank interprets this as telling him to sell it, and the university professor lies and tells Hank that it's worthless. Bobby is sad that Hank sold the artifact because he planned to use it for his social studies project. The archaeologists show up and Peggy lets them investigate their yard. They start digging up Hank's precious lawn, making him upset. Peggy is infatuated with the archaeologist and invites him to dinner against Hank's will. The professor flirts with Peggy and lets her organize a field trip. Hank gets upset about the professor's advances towards his wife and tries to make replicas of the artifacts to ruin the professor's reputation. The plan backfires when Peggy finds the artifact instead, and Hank accidentally insults her. The plan backfires even more when the professor and his students see through the fake artifact, making Peggy doubt herself. Hank opens up about the fake artifact, and Peggy is flattered that he'd do that. The professor insults Peggy to her face, and Hank repeatedly pushes him into the hole that the archaeologist dug. And that's the end of the episode.
This one just, oh man, I didn't see it coming, honestly.
I like this. This is one of my favorites in the season. It's a very standout one.
We finally see Dale's bald head.
We do.
We see Dale's freaking stupid baby little bald shining globe, his dome, his chrome dome.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. I was gonna say Chrome Dome.
Bobby's woke in this one. Bobby's very woke.
What did he do?
He talked about, I can't remember what it was, but it was something about a same-sex partner. It just
that's the quote. When Peggy says that it's an Indian artifact and Bobby says that you're supposed to say Native American, just like you're supposed to say same-sex partner.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the quote.
Yep. But it's just native Indian. I think that's...
That is Hank trying only half of the way.
I've heard things like that in my family too, though.
In this town, it's
man.
all over.
Definitely.
I like early 2000s and 90s, like, university scenes, like, college settings. It's weirdly, like, nostalgic for me.
Weird.
Even though I've, like, never really had that in my actual college career. But they just seem so fun and a very chill place. There's always, like, really interesting people. Because in real college, the interesting people hide from you.
Well, yeah.
Because they don't... They've got the reasons. They don't want that attention.
I hate the amount of just manipulation that's being thrown into Peggy's side of the court. They're using Peggy's gullibility and weaknesses just to sales talk.
Exactly.
And make her seem stupid.
It's too real, honestly, because I've seen that so much.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I hate that stuff. It's just, it feels false and obviously because it is in this episode. But
of course.
Say you're at a dealership nowadays and it's just like, here's your deal, you can buy it or you don't, but this is good. And I'm just like, I don't care. Stop doing this. It's weird that Hank sees through it, though, honestly.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be the one that gets caught up in it, too.
I think just because he hates the professor. I think he has the ability to see it. It's just that he's very selective about who he lets... If he's already skeptical about a person, he's not going to fall for it like the other characters.
Right. These episodes where it's just Peggy and Hank, basically, as the A-plot, I don't like them that much. To be fair. Yeah,
all of my favorite episodes are Bobby based.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really care much for just Hank and Peggy. I think they really thrive when they're in a different environment.
True.
Because that's how I think they should be written, because they're together they aren't very interesting. It's how they respond to the environment around them.
Right.
That gives it the satirical comedy that King of the Hill is.
Right. I'm pretty sure that if it was just a show with them, kind of like sitcom-y, I don't think anyone would have watched it. So yeah, I loved like the ability to just like kind of turn my brain off to it though, and kind of like roll through the motions.
Yeah, it's a very good show for that. You don't really realize it, how much you take that for granted until you have to write down every single plot line like I do.
Right. It's too real. It's so based in reality. There's nothing unreal about this show. There's not one extravagant thing that I have seen that's like, oh, that's not real. That's never happened before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a very well-grounded adult animated sitcom.
Right. Now, when I was a kid, I didn't catch any of the jokes. I was
absolutely.
Like 12, 11 when I was watching this.
I liked quite a few of the jokes, but
right.
like I said earlier, I have a new appreciation to the type of humor. Because it's my theory that kids can't really grasp satire very well.
Yeah. Just
in the way that their brains are developed.
Haven't had enough of the regular conversation stuff in order to be like, oh, that's funny, because that is being said everywhere.
Yeah, they can't recognize the patterns, because there could be some brain stuff as well, probably, but it's definitely in part to not having enough of the same situation to make a pattern, like you said.
Right. He got dirt all over my compost heap. That was a good quote, too.
I didn't even realize the stupidity between the
Right. It was great. I love that shit. Oh my god, it makes me feel good.
He is so stuck in his own world.
Great.
I feel like it's partially Cotton's fault, who has just berated his mind so much.
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
He has to close every outside interference to protect himself.
Right, I didn't even think of that. That's genius. Wow.
It's my interpretation of it anyway.
Right. I agree with that. How do you feel about casual touches, like in social situations, like how Peggy was being touched by the archaeologist, kind of like with on the shoulder, like, hey, I'm talking to you. How do you feel about that?
I absolutely hate it.
Me too.
It's the same it's for the same reason that I don't like to be called like honey or dear, but just casually, because that kind of stuff is much more intimate to me than I feel like it is to everyone else.
Right.
And so I it's just like whenever somebody does that, I'm just like, I'm not like that with you. Don't do that. But in their mind, it's just a normal thing. It's a platonic thing to them.
You're definitely not Southern.
Yeah, exactly. Their culture is definitely not for me.
Yeah, you're a dirty Yankee.
I am.
We're just Yankees up here.
On the topic of touching, but if someone touches me, like, to get my attention, just like a little nudge, that's all right. But just don't keep it longer than 1 second.
Right. You just grab your shoulder as hard as I possibly can and ask you.
Yeah, because it's too intimate for me. I like my own thing. Ask me before doing it.
That too.
What I'm saying.
That to add that to the other.
I like consent a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the weirdo, but probably not.
It doesn't hurt to ask, honestly.
Exactly.
More people need to ask.
I agree. I think yes.
Leave it to Hank to create a stupid plot just to try and win back his wife, quote unquote, instead of actually talking to her.
Yeah, I mean that's what drives the plot,
right.
Is that he can't speak, he can't control his emotion.
Right.
So he has to resort to stupid ways to get around that, where he could easily have fixed it by talking.
Agreed. Yeah, I can't think of a time, honestly, in my life where my dad has ever straight up been upfront with my mom about anything, and vice versa. My mom and dad, they don't do very well together when it comes to just serious topics. But that's what makes it feel so real and makes me interested in it, honestly. Especially when they throw in Southern culture, because I haven't lived it.
Yeah.
It kind of just feels like it's adding a new spin to my life, and it's really strange. Like I don't have to worry about the what if I grew up in the South, because that's what it would be like.
Exactly.
That's really nice. I like that a lot. You get tired of this long before I do. When he was kicking him. That was the quote at the end of the credits.
Oh, yeah.
When he was kicking him down back into the hole and Peggy started doing it too. That was a weird ending.
I liked that. It definitely shows Hank's character.
It was funny to me.
And it also just kind of de-heroizes the professor. It just makes him seem like a dork.
And he is.
Yeah, absolutely. But he, in the show, to the characters, from their perspective, he is this, like, very knowledgeable, wise person.
Right. Oh, man. Oh. Where do you find your Toblerones in the wild alley?
In the woods. Where else would I find them?
Does a Toblerone crack open in the woods? Do you smell it or whatever?
Yeah, of course, I'm right there. I'm the one who's opening it.
But what if you were the one looking at it and someone else was opening it? Then do you hear it?
Yeah, I'm right next to him.
But if you're in the universe where sound doesn't exist...
I am permanently deafened by the sound of the Toblerone.
Cracking, yeah. That's what deafens you. Yeah, it just destroys your eardrums.
That's the last thing I ever hear.
That'd be amazing. Anyway, sorry. Can I have a half break?
Yeah, sure.
This is the...
Oh, you're just going to...
I'm just gonna just... Right. That's a good starting.
Gotta light up the bong.
Gotta bong up the light. Whoops.
Got a Bud Light. Get it.
Corona.
My Corona.
You know, like...
It's gonna date the episode.
That's right.
So much.
That's okay. It lasted for a while. It's still going.
Alright. Are you ready? Do you have any more points?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
Are we gonna move on?
Yep, that's it.
Episode 4. Halloween. It starts with the guys in the garage preparing for a haunted house and reminiscing about vandalizing each other's houses as a kid. Luann attends an anti-Halloween church event and starts to hate the holiday. Luann's paranoia mixed with Hank's disdain over how the holiday has changed makes Bobby question it, and Peggy is upset with him. The church learns about the haunted house at the school and cancels the event. Hank gets upset and decides to make the haunted house in his garage instead, while falling out with Luann. Hank tries to teach Bobby about his traditions by vandalizing Judy Harper's house, which makes her run over a cat while chasing them. They get in trouble with the police, and Bobby takes it really personally while Luann's talks of Satanism makes him paranoid. Judy Harper brings the vandalism case to the city council and cancels Halloween in the town of Arlen by enforcing a curfew. Hank gets upset and Bobby is increasingly paranoid and goes to Judy Harper's Christian event. Luann confesses about taking Bobby to the event. Hank gets pissed and celebrates Halloween in protest, and everybody, including Luann, joins in. Hank tries to win over Bobby at Judy Harper's house by showing him what he's missing in the holiday. Bobby gives in and decides to go with his dad and celebrate the holiday instead of with the church. And that's the end of the episode.
What do you feel about how Hank scares Peggy? Ah!
What?
In the beginning, he just kind of scares her.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about getting scared in your own home?
I don't like that because I am very paranoid as it is.
Yeah.
So I have extreme trust issues, and that would make it worse.
I'm not a fan myself.
I think scaring is the lowest form of pranking, just because it's so easy. It's a very low blow to me, anyway.
Yeah, it's just like anyone can do it, so they're gonna. All the off-brand Charlie Brown music in the flashback and throughout the episode, that was weird. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
It kind of adds to the theme of it, though.
Yeah, I can understand because Charlie Brown is the whole Great Pumpkin thing. It's a staple of Halloween. So when you're flashing back to the '60s,
yeah, the way the cult is stroking Luann's ego and trying to make her feel good and smart.
That's what they do, though.
I know.
I have met many cult members, and that's how it is. That is 100% how they get you.
It's kind of like salesmen. It really is.
Oh, absolutely.
It's one and the same for sure.
Abusers, they know what they're doing.
Definitely. Now I don't want to hear any more of your foolishness. He's way too rude, Hank.
Yeah.
He's honestly, he's kind of mean to Luann in this episode.
Yeah, it stems from his childhood nostalgia of wanting things back to where they were. He's venting his anger in places because his holiday that he loved so much has changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To be fair, in this episode, it was getting pretty why would they be doing that?
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
To someone like me, I don't care about how anyone celebrates anything, but I was still this is kind of weird, ruining other people's experiences for no reason.
Exactly. I noticed not really an animation error, just kind of a weird way that they animated it. When Hank is talking to Peggy in the driveway, Bobby's riding his bike around.
Right.
And they kind of reused the same biking animation asset, but it's a profile moving to one side of the screen to the other. And then they just kind of played that back really fast.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah.
That was distracting, now that I think about it.
It's hard to explain it, so you're just going to have to watch the thing.
Yeah.
But it's just very awkward. It makes it look like he's turning at light speed.
Yeah, just slingshotting back in the...
It's super awkward how they did that.
Yeah, wow. Man, I didn't even catch that. Hank is so manic in this episode.
Absolutely.
He's just whoa, I gotta fix the town. He's running around doing crazy shit that he's never done before. Well, he probably has done, but...
Probably, but that also stems from the same
emotional dysfunction.
He takes it personally.
Definitely. Enough to commit crimes? He's not a person that commits crimes.
Exactly.
That was weird.
It's just the mentality of that's how things were.
Right.
That gets him.
That nostalgia, man. That's good. That's some good ass shit. Bobby is lightly empathetic, seeing that those birds don't have a house.
Yeah, that's childhood innocence.
I love that.
It's the disconnect between Bobby and Hank, what Hank could have been.
Right, that's cool. Yeah.
That's absolutely me in any situation, especially as a kid. At Bobby's age, I absolutely felt that way.
Yeah, I love that. More people need empathy nowadays, I'll tell you what. I tell you what.
In general, it's not just now.
Yeah.
That's the juvenoia talking.
That's true. A lot of juvenoia in this one.
Absolutely. Just all around.
Right. Fucking Luann was gaslighting Bobby.
It's true.
With those, with the cult speak that she learned about the devil.
You could argue that it wasn't really Luann, it's just Junie Harper.
Talking through Luann.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Luann's just rephrasing what she learned.
That was scary, just to see that in, like, a community that I feel... I haven't been horribly attached to this show yet, from what I've seen. But it still, obviously, is personal to me. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, I felt real anxiety. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
This is wrong. I don't like this.
That's how a lot of abusers and cult people learn things, is from having it done to themselves, because they know what works and what isn't, and they know how they would respond to things, so they know how to respond when somebody else responds in some way.
True. That's just the only thing you know how to do, so you do it kind of thing.
Exactly. They know from experience.
Calculated that way. Yeah, that was fun. When the city council was sitting and hearing all the civilians talk about, their problems, let the record show that somebody hates Dale Gribble. City council. Oh my god. I love that. Dale is so good.
He's amazing.
He's honestly the perfect comic relief, honestly, in my opinion.
He's done very well because he's just so ignorant. He's so confident in the wrong thing.
I love that.
Which is what makes his character good.
Right. I mean, he didn't do that too much in the first season. He's just got weird ideas, but this time he's walking out the door with them, talking to people. Trying not to make a nuisance, but also making a ruckus. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's great. He needs to cry more, though. I hope he cries more. I like seeing him cry.
No comment.
No comment?
I'm gonna ignore that one.
Okay. Alright, I guess that's just me then.
Dan's a sadist for Dale.
Nothing.
If you wear trucker hats and have glasses...
Watch out.
Watch out.
Watch out. Watch out,
Dan's gonna make you cry.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sex kills. Did you know that, Allie?
Yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah. Sex kills.
Don't make premarital eye contact, kids.
Premarital eye contact. That's amazing. This show is outrageous. I love it.
I made that part up.
What?
Yes.
Oh, it feels like it's from the show.
It does seem like something Mike Judge would say.
Honestly. I love that when Hank was walking down the road, starting the revolution, Boomhauer was just like, fuck yeah, dude, I've been waiting for this shit to happen.
He was ready.
He was the first one. Like, he was waiting. He knew it was going to happen.
Trick or treat.
Trick or treat. Trick or treat.
Trick or treat.
Okay. This is a very wholesome episode.
This is very nice.
It felt super... God, the whole show is grounded and down to earth.
Very proletariat uprising, which I enjoy.
That was fun.
Everybody in the neighborhood rising up against
the power of this.
The power.
Right.
The people oppressing them.
Right.
10 out of 10.
Dang old Boom Man, yo. Boomhauer. I love
classic
that.
Boom quote.
That was a good one. Right at the end there. Right at the end of the credits, it was there. Alright, that's all I have to say about that one.
Alright, me too. Next one. Episode 5, Jumpin' Crack Bass.
Hit the gas, gas, gas.
Oh yeah, there was a parentheses there, but I just did not give a shit.
Yeah, no, I think that's just the rest of the song that they parodied.
Yeah, fuck the Stones.
What? I guess so too, I don't know anything about it.
It starts with Hank and Bobby in the dark digging for worms. Hank's car is getting hot-wired, and the thief gets sentenced in court to live in a truck for 3 months. Hank goes to the impound lot to get his new car back, and finds it stripped for evidence, which pisses off Hank. The guys go fishing, and everybody but Hank catches a fish. Hank, feeling disappointed, goes to the bait shop to try new bait. He finds that it's going out of business, but is appointed to a guy that sells his own homemade bait. Hank looks for the bait seller, but finds a drug dealer instead, who sells him crack cocaine. Hank has immediate success fishing with the drugs, which makes the other guys jealous and want to try it out for their own. Hank finds out that the fish are slowly becoming addicted to the bait, and likewise, Hank becomes addicted to fishing. The guys get jealous and try to steal Hank's bait, but the fish lose all interest in the bait from overabundance and stop biting entirely. Hank goes back to the drug dealer to get stronger bait, but gets caught in the process. Hank goes to court and the judge takes Hank and Dale fishing to prove that the crack works as bait. The guys catch nothing, and the judge gets annoyed after Dale tries to cheat with a frozen bass. During the final cast, Hank sticks to his morals and tries to use a worm, catching a very small fish in the process. The judge forgives Hank, and that's the end of the episode.
What a bad episode.
I never cared for it. I can see how somebody would like it, but it's not for me.
It was honestly, well, it's not a bad episode to hate. It's not a bad one to hate. It's kind of fun to just be like, that's bad, that's weird and fun.
I think it's one of the weakest ones in the season for sure. Yeah. But like I said, I feel like this is a staple for some people.
Yeah, I'm sure. Fishing is a large part of this community, at least. So, yeah. Then import. And they all gasped. That was hilarious.
Oh,
I hate it. I hate the culture of imports are trash that it has happened in the past.
Hold on, my corset's stuck to the chair. I can't move.
What? You're wearing a corset?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize.
I'm stuck.
Good.
There we go. I got it.
Okay.
Anyway.
Imports. I can't believe it.
You should add more context when you talk.
I forgot to write more context, so I didn't write it.
The judge sentences the criminal to live in a truck and mentions that it specifically is an import.
Yeah.
And that's what surprises the jury.
Brent just gasps. I love it. I love seeing Luann being useful in this episode. Oh my god, I love it.
Absolutely.
She's just totally knowledgeable in fixing cars.
I love that dynamic of Luann, that she is an amazing mechanic, something that's viewed in their culture as boys' work, but is so set in the social stigma that she wants to become a cosmetologist more than anything, despite fucking blowing at it.
Right, yeah. No, that really does blow.
It's a problem in culture for people to reject what they're good at in favor for something that society shines light on.
Definitely, I hate it.
In exchange for social praise from nobody.
Right. I love that. Even, they wrote that back in 99.
Yeah, I don't know when this episode aired, but it would have been around 98, 99.
Turn of the century.
Yeah.
And they're writing jokes like that and bits like that.
Absolutely.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, Mike Judge has always been weirdly woke.
I like that. But yeah. I would do a couple lines with Mike Judge. Ask him about how the universe works. He would know, but he'd damn sure tell you how it works, wouldn't he?
He would try to.
Oh my god. I didn't see the arson coming in this episode.
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts.
That was so nonchalant and melancholy. I love it. But yeah, it was fun.
And I like how he comes back in the court for insurance fraud.
Right. I love that little nod at the end there.
I like consistency in plot like that.
Right, integrated plot. That's really cool.
Where it just kind of weaves in and out.
Right. Drugs, man. I didn't see that coming either. This episode went hard. It went hard in some culture, I tell you what. Gonna say anything or what?
I don't have anything to say to that one.
Okay. You're not surprised that drugs were in this episode?
No, because it was just kind of used for shock value more than anything.
Yeah.
Which, it worked, but I don't know, maybe because of my friend group, I'm just desensitized to the concept of drugs.
Probably.
That is probably what it is.
Yeah, I'm just one fat little saint over here, just chilling in my own beef gravy, and you're just mixing your own little, you know that weird sugary, powdery shit in the bag? What's that called?
Fun dip?
Fun dip.
I
You are
love
fun dip.
that.
You're fun dip, and I am beef gravy.
I like that. That is very good. I like that analogy.
It's nice.
Especially because of the fluidity of Fun Dip, with it having two parts, the stick and the dip.
Yeah, but beef gravy goes with everything.
Exactly.
So
it goes with Fun Dip.
I don't know about that. Don't be sticking Fun Dip sticks in my beef gravy, all right? This ain't okay.
That would be...
Maybe it would be bad, I guess.
An unpopular opinion. I like Fun Dip sticks. They taste very good.
Anyway, you like eating chalk, too, I bet you fucking nasty bitch.
I have eaten chalk.
My fucking god, I knew it. I don't think fish actually like drugs. Pretty sure that's just so the plot can move forward.
I mean, I don't know if anybody has ever fished with crack. Let's get a fishing YouTuber, dude. Let's get EPF.
EPF,
Yeah.
oh my god.
Subscribe to Extreme Philly Fishing on YouTube. He's great.
I love him. He's so excited about his work. He doesn't get enough praise.
Yeah.
And he had an episode with iDubbbz.
Yeah.
Like, come on. He deserves more than what he has. But I ain't seeing crack cocaine on his hooks, that's for sure.
He needs to step up his game.
No, don't make him...
Oh, this is a call-out post to Leo Shane.
No, don't do it.
Do more drugs.
No, stop. He already does enough.
He doesn't.
It's what it is, man. It is what it is. Anyway, 0 is enough for Leo Shang. He doesn't need any substance abuse. Keep his spirits high.
Rock hard fishing.
Why?
I meant to say raw fishing.
Raw fishing. Hank's addicted to fishing.
He did.
And not drugs. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can. Hank would never do drugs, but he has a very addictive personality because he's so closed from his own world.
Damn.
So when he finds something he likes, he'll immediately cling on to it and get addicted to it.
That's true. Isn't that everyone though?
I guess.
Kind of seeking dopamine.
But Hank is to the extreme in the way that he avoids it, but then in his avoidance of it, it makes the problem even worse.
So he does have addictive
Absolutely.
genes, tell you what.
I think he has the gene that makes your ear wax. What?
Allie, I don't think he has genes, period, okay? Mike Judd has all the genes in this show. So does Mike Judd... Judge, you're right. Does Mike Judge have freaking earwax that's wet?
Yes.
How do you know that?
Dear Mike Judge, can I see your earwax?
I'm not going to reply to that. I'm sorry. Why did you say that?
Is it good? No, it's not. Alright, next episode. Getting to this point in the podcast.
Oh, my fucking head.
I can't fucking do my thing without you interjecting. That's something stupid.
Sorry.
Just let me say the plot.
No.
Please, I'm begging.
No.
Just let me say the plot. You'll be able to do whatever you want after that part.
I suppose.
Deal. Episode 6, Husky Bobby. It starts with the family shopping for clothes for Bobby, with no avail due to Bobby being thick as fuck. The salesman shows up and recommends they go to a plus-size store in town. They head to H. Dumpty's, while trying not to upset Bobby for him being fat. They upset Bobby anyway, and he ends up liking the clothes once he tries them on, and he's approached by the owner of the store, who asks him to model for him. Bobby ends up bragging to Luann about being asked to model, and then agrees to drive Bobby to the photo shoot. After the shoot, Bobby tells his dad, who is immediately upset and calls the photographers asking them not to run the ad in the newspaper. Peggy gets a call from a larger model agency, and Hank panics because of his past of bullying fat kids. Peggy sees how proud Bobby is in his modeling career and decides to take him anyway. Bobby signs up and lets his career go to his head. Hank shows up to the photo shoot to stop Bobby after being made fun of by the guys. At the photo shoot, Bobby is asked to model for an upcoming fashion show. Bobby is upset but then sneaks out to the fashion show anyway after his dad won't let him. It's announced that Bobby is going on stage first, but Hank shows up to take Bobby out. The fashion show starts without Bobby, but then the school bullies show up to ruin the moment by throwing donuts at the fat kids. Bobby is relieved that Hank saved him after all, and that's the end of the episode.
Have you ever window shopped?
Not really.
There's not much of that in this town.
No.
It's pretty small.
Yeah, I normally just go into the store, because everything in the window is going to be marked up, and there's probably nothing that I like. I have weird, obscure tastes.
True.
Support small business.
Do that. They're really nice. Are you taking me to the vet? Says Bobby. I love that.
Yeah.
Bobby's a dog.
He doesn't know how to think logically.
No.
But I can't blame him because of how weird his parents act.
Oh my god. Yeah, no. I wouldn't act normal if I had his parents, that's for sure.
Absolutely not.
They're not even helicopter-y, and he kind of feels like he's been helicoptered a little bit. Dad, a man took pictures of me.
God, Bobby is so... He always knows the worst things to say.
I love it. Bobby inspires me to be the worst and best at everything I ever do.
That's a good way to put it.
It's true. That's how I feel.
I feel it too.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong.
Yep. I feel like I've died and gone to New York, says Hank. His fear for Yankees is amazing. I could blame Cotton for that.
Absolutely, yeah. And he has a strange loyalty towards Texas that would give him a sense of kind of xenophobia in a sense.
True.
To where everything that isn't Texas is outside and wrong.
How big is the town that they live in?
In Arlen?
Yeah.
I interpret it to be about the same size as here, maybe 20,000 or so.
Really?
Maybe a bit more.
I would have thought maybe 50.
Well, it's based on Arlington, Texas. Let's look up how much Arlington, Texas has. Oh, that's a big town. That's almost 400,000.
Oh my god.
So I don't think its population is based on Arlington.
Yeah, maybe he might just be in the outskirts.
Maybe.
Well,
I mean, we've seen most of the town.
Oh, okay.
I think. You can see, like, an aerial shot of it.
Yeah, that's right. True. Yeah, it must just be scaled down to make it feel more wholesome.
Yeah, probably, because it's meant to be small town culture. It's not supposed to be a very big, thriving town. Right. I'd estimate around maybe 50,000, give or take.
Right, that's what I thought too, yeah.
Give or take a couple, 10,000.
I didn't fill up on 89 octane for nothing, says Hank. I love that.
Gosh. He's so strange the way that his brain works. I do like analyzing it.
It's amazing. Better fuel, better economy. Papa John's. There's Dooley in this episode.
Yeah.
Our favorite character.
I don't care for him.
What?
He's a good character, but I wouldn't call him my favorite.
We're supposed to stan him together,
We are
Allie.
not. I am not standing.
Especially a child, right?
Yeah.
He's cool, though. I love him.
Yeah.
He reminds me of you. Back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Back then, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't have a Dooley in your class or as a friend, you're missing out. They're a hoot and a half.
Girl Dooley 2010. That's my childhood.
Oh my god. Is Bobby really that fat though? I mean, he just seems like he's a kid.
Yeah, I think our perception of like fatness has definitely increased. That's something one of my sociology teachers mentioned. Just one day we're in school. There was one kid who was just a bit overweight and he was known as like the fat kid. So I think maybe even in 90s culture that amount of weight was considered like because even look at The Simpsons. Homer is depicted as being like this morbidly obese man, but True. He has like an all right composure. He just has a weird beer gut. I think maybe Bobby is big for his age, definitely, but
I wouldn't call him fat.
No,
I call him husky.
I don't think he would actually not be able to fit into normal clothes at that age. But I mean, of course, you needed to drive the plot. But I think realistically, he would have found clothes at a normal clothing store that would fit him. Right.
I didn't know there was stores just for larger sized people.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that because I've always been thinner than the frickin' wall boards.
Absolutely. I've also been just tiny. So. Yeah. But they exist. They're needed.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Even back then, they had stores, like, dedicated shops for that. That's great. I hate the stigma around it.
Absolutely. I think there should be more dedicated stuff, because right now, larger people, they're very limited to, like, Walmart clothes. It doesn't look good just because it's just cheap and it's thrown together.
We need decent price, decent wear for decent people.
Exactly. Stop basing standards around people like me. I am not the average by far.
If Hank was Bobby's age, he would have beat the shit out of him.
Oh, absolutely.
That's weird to think about. You always wonder what your kids are going to grow up to be like and if you like them or not, but I couldn't imagine being stuck in that kind of a mindset for, probably until you find your child to be that thing and you're like, whoops, I got to think about that now, why I beat the shit out of fat people. I picked on him.
Would your dad beat the shit out of you if he was the same age as you? For being a weird femboy that you are?
I don't think so. I think he would probably just not talk to me.
Yeah, I feel like my dad would be weirded out by me. By me, he's already weirded out by me being queer now, so.
But I can't imagine we'd all just not get along. I feel like we'd all just kind of live to get near each other kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't think anything would come from it.
I wouldn't talk to him, that's for sure. I wouldn't do that.
Oh,
we don't have that many interests.
Yeah, at this point, if you're not cool with me being fucking gay AF, get out.
Get out.
Lesbian for life. Alright. Episode 7, The Man Who Shot Kane Skretherberg. It starts with Bill trying to work his new leaf blower before being annoyed by and then harassing an old guy. It's revealed that Bobby has chickenpox, which goes nowhere, but then everyone is annoyed by a rock band nearby that Hank intends to stop. At the fun center, Bobby and Joseph are attacked during paintball by the band leader, Kane Skretherberg. Hank confronts the punks and challenges them to a paintball tournament. The guys are immediately humiliated by losing and are ashamed about being old. Hank continues to be traumatized until Peggy convinces Hank to challenge them to a rematch. They immediately lose again and are further ridiculed by the punks, and Hank decides to get back at them by trying to understand teenagers. The guys challenge the punks to one last high-stakes paintball match with their newfound knowledge. The guys finally win using their new strategy against the punks, who agree to give up their amps. The guys get back one final time by pranking them, and that's the end of the episode.
I didn't care for this one much. It was cool.
It had a very nice concept, but there's too much juvenoia for my taste.
Yeah. The guys get called punks by that old guy.
It's true.
That was funny. That's juvenoia right there.
I like how it makes light of that, of how it'll just... the cycle will always continue of old people non-understanding and then hating the young people because of it.
Yeah. And then at the end, they started hanging out with the dude.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. I like some of the lyrics from Kane Skretherberg.
I didn't really listen to the lyrics because I was too busy writing down the plot line.
I thought it was funny that one of the lines was, "Thou shalt not do this." That was funny to me. That sounds like something weird Dale quote.
Yeah, but I like their music a lot.
That was good.
I like it. That's my genre of old school punk.
I wouldn't have liked it back when I first watched this if I had first watched it back then. But nowadays, pretty good.
Because somebody very attractive and cool introduced you to punk music, which is better than the weird fucking trash you listen to.
I wonder who it is.
It's me. I'm the girl who did it.
Oh, really? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Come again.
I will.
Big smile. All right. Kane and the Stubborn Stains. I love that band name.
That's a very good one.
That was kind of fun. That was really cool. I couldn't have thought of something like that.
No, I really struggle when it comes to, I don't know, creative wording.
Yeah. If you couldn't tell, Subconscious Garbage. What the fuck? What's that shit? Kane is voiced by Trey Cool from Green Day.
Is he? I didn't look at that.
Yeah,
at all.
I looked
That's
it
great.
up. It's really funny. It just makes it so much more human.
Oh, Trey Cool.
Because he's been there. Because he is in it. Trey Cool could start his own band. Bobby's gonna be a filthy groupie with a rat tail. Remember they were giving a rat tail at the end?
Yeah, I did like that part where Bobby says he's going to be a groupie, and Hank's like, "No, you're gonna." He meant roadie.
Yeah.
At least I hope he did.
I hope he did. Yeah. Hank's PTSD.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was real. That was crazy. In his dream, or was it a dream? Or
It
was
was a dream.
Oh, okay. Because it kind of was edited like he was just sitting there in bed, and then Peggy was reading, but it must have drifted off and dreamed.
I'm pretty sure that's what was implied.
In his attack, there was it featured Green Bobby.
Yeah.
Just a Bobby that was green. I don't know why he was green.
He kind of looked like Cotton in that situation.
Why was he green?
Just kind of the colors, which is why I think that it was intended to be a dream, because the colors were inverted, which is meant to be because dreams don't really feel grounded in reality. It's just kind of slightly floating off of it.
I like that.
I think that's a good way to convey dreams.
It didn't feel wrong. It always felt good. That was about that one. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was alright. It was very well-rounded. Very good. There's just not much to it. I didn't write much.
Right.
Moving on to one of my favorite episodes in the series. Episode 8, The Son That Got Away. Bobby and Connie get in trouble in music class for being annoying, and their parents are called to the school. The teacher blames Hank and Con for their children's behavior, and they blame each other in response. Hank punishes Bobby by making him clean the gutters. Bobby and Connie get bored and want to do something fun by going to the caves and taking Joseph along. The kids get supplies to go to the cave, and Hank and Con blame each other yet again. Randy, the kid from season 1, remember that episode where they went camping?
Really?
He's here now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Randy notices the kids and rats them out to their parents. The kids make their way to the boneyard, where teens go to fuck, and Joseph and Connie become more connected, making Bobby jealous. Both of the kids and the guys get lost in different parts of the cave, and Hank and Con get stuck in a hole. Bobby theoretically sacrifices him, winning over Connie's affection. Hank and Con bond over stories of them as the kids, and the kids figure out where they are. They discover a hole in the ceiling and tell Boomhauer to call the fire department to get them out. Hank lets the kids ride home by themselves that night, and that's the end of the episode.
This one was nice.
Yeah.
That dreaded quote, "It's time we involve your parents." That feeling of just, oh God.
Yeah.
You ever have one of those moments at school?
No, I was always afraid of acting out, and I was just I was a quiet girl. I never really did anything. I never had my parents called.
Weird. Yeah, no, I've never had it either, but that was because if I put any bad feelings into school,
Yeah.
Mom would just kick my ass.
Yeah. I was afraid of it, affecting, my personal record for some reason.
Yeah? Me too.
Even though it doesn't.
Even in
I had no way
elementary-
of knowing that.
Even in elementary school, I 100% thought that if I didn't pass this, then I'm in the streets. My mom did something weird in my head, or maybe someone else did.
I think it's just internalized capitalism in a way.
Yeah, probably. Just trying to get me to...
Yeah, it's just the school system. It's why everybody still has nightmares about high school.
Oh my God, I had one the other day.
So ingrained into our head to make us, susceptible to the workforce that if you don't show up on time, you're a bad person.
If you don't have impeccable timing and taste, then you are going down. You can't do it anymore. Sounds like a Dale quote. Yeah, there's Weird Al.
Yeah, I wrote that down too. I really like...
Hank thinks he blew his brains out.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That, because obviously in this timeline, Weird Al didn't die. But I think King of the Hill would obviously be on a different timeline. One where after UHF and Weird Al loses his money. Because for those of you who don't know, after Weird Al's movie UHF it was a pretty massive flop in theaters. His albums were not doing well at all, and he kind of dwindled out. But because of his parody of Nirvana, that's what really put him back on the charts and what made him recognizable again instead of the one-hit wonder that he was before.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, yeah. He's great.
And Weird Al did mention that it was really hard to get in contact with Kurt Cobain, because knowing Kurt, there's no way that he would deny Weird Al to parody his songs. So I think in this King of the Hill timeline, he probably just never got in contact with Kurt, and then his album Off the Deep End just never sold, and he shot himself.
Ugh, that's weird to think about.
Yep.
But it did make sense if you think about it like that. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah, I think about that plot point a lot.
Did you come up with that yourself? Or
Yes.
Did you... Oh,
yes,
man.
I've thought about that. I made that conclusion 100% on my own. I haven't seen anybody else talk about that.
Well,
it's because it was just meant to be just a little joke. It wasn't meant to be anything deep.
Nope.
But there's me overanalyzing.
We spent a lot of time on the roof when we were hanging out. First hanging out.
Oh, yeah,
because they did too on this episode. Did you ever clean the gutters like Bobby had to?
No, my parents never cleaned the gutters.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
They were bad, but they never were really cleaned.
Thankfully, my parents never wanted to make chores a punishment.
Yeah.
Because they knew I would never want to do chores again then.
That's true.
But I also didn't want to do chores ever again. But
Absolutely.
But
yeah, you should never punish the behavior that you want.
No, my dad would always go out and do the gutters.
Yeah.
Maybe twice a year.
My parents were never around, and they didn't really talk to me, so
Yeah.
I didn't have any chores because of that.
True. They're really laying it on thick with Nancy's affair with John Redcorn in this episode. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I like that one.
That was funny.
How did John Redcorn know I wanted a beer?
I love that. That was so funny.
My favorite aspect about Dale is just how he finds the completely wrong conclusion.
Oh my god, it's great.
In his own creative
Same thing with
way.
Bobby. Bobby loves to say the wrong things, and
It's
Dale
true.
just knows what wrong to say. It's great. Oh, I don't know why I wrote down Bill used to be a cross-dresser.
Oh yeah, because he mentioned that his dad forced him into dresses to make fun of him.
That's
to ridicule
fucked
him.
up, man.
Yeah, why are abusive parents just the best at psychological torture?
They probably just feel it firsthand themselves. Yeah, that's horrible. We're not children, we're preteens, damn it, said Bobby.
I remember feeling that exact way when I was like 11.
Me too. I got my own room at age 13, I think, and I'm like, I'm a teenager now, I'm not a kid. That's where it all went downhill. Bobby says to Joseph wanting to buy butane at that gas station for the cave exploration. He said that my dad says butane's a bastard gas.
That's a classic Bobby quote.
I love that. Of course Dale plays the lotto.
He from personal experience working at a gas station for 3 years, Dale is the definition of somebody who plays lotto. The thing he said sounds like a very cheap version of the lotto that we have.
Right.
So, which is just the worst of the worst. If you're gonna gamble, go high. You will not win anything. I
Right.
assure you.
Yeah. It's like those like $1 ones. They're
Yeah.
just still doing it because
Yeah.
they think they'll get something.
There's people who come in every day and they get a bunch of $1 scratch offs, and they make maybe $3.
And it never adds up.
Yeah,
Lottery.
$3 back, mind you. So they make a massive deficit.
Right. No. Not worth it.
No, don't gamble at all. They are not on your side. They absolutely are not your friend.
Definitely not.
You will never win.
I can't win it if I'm not in it, though, Allie. That's what Dale said.
Oh, I've heard that too many goddamn times at my job. I'm glad I quit.
God damn. The Hills were just totally just fucking racist as hell, the Min and Khan in this one. It
Yeah,
was uncomfortable. It didn't age well.
absolutely not.
That was just weird. I didn't like that. I like how Hank called having sex whoopee.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that in so long.
It's a very Hank thing to say. That
That's
seems
great.
exactly like something Hank would.
I've heard that in my childhood from my parents as they were trying to walk around it, but I always knew. And I just thought, wow, that brought me back. I've never heard that except for 10 years ago.
I've never heard anyone say it, like, unironically.
Oh, really?
Sounds worse than saying you're having sex. Sounds like you have some weird fart fetish thing going on.
My God. Oh my God, I just realized. Khan is an anagram for Hank.
Whoa. Oh, you're right.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Whoa.
I didn't realize that.
That's cool. I like that.
That's really good. It's such an obvious thing, but I never
And it's
thought
just
of
one
it.
letter.
Yep.
That's awesome. Wow. That's cool. I did some research on this episode because there was a lot of Laotian speaking in it. They
Yeah.
were talking, and I was like, I have someone at work that speaks Laotian, and I'm really interested. So I looked into it, and I guess all of the Laotian is fake in this show. And that fucking hurts.
Yeah, they could have at least went out of their way to learn some stuff.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah.
And the voice actor for Khan is white.
I hate that. I hate when they cast, especially with such a thick accent, too.
Right.
Because that's not cool at that point.
Must have just been a different time.
Yeah, just cast the same race you're writing for, bruh.
Hey, Allie.
Yeah.
What were you eating under there?
Underwear.
No!
No!
That's loud. Oh my God. There you go. You did it. You caught on. I didn't think you'd get that.
I like that part.
That was funny. I wrote it down. That's how funny it was.
That's how...
Haha, you were eating underwear.
I remember me falling for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You did?
Yeah, I was in like 6th grade. Or maybe my dad said it to me. Probably both.
There was one week in my childhood where my brother and I, we were in like 4th grade, and I had heard it from school, and I said it to my brother, and he, for some reason, couldn't get it through his head that that's what was going to happen. So I always got him every time I did it for like a week straight.
I didn't get it for the longest time. I didn't understand until it was explained to me. Because of my dumbass prepubescent brain, I just could not comprehend the underwear and underwear.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
I kept thinking that the joke had to lie with the location of so that's for my mind.
That's really funny.
I didn't think of it as a noun. As a place.
A long, painful, boring death. That was the quote at the end. Who said that? I forget.
I don't know.
That doesn't matter. But yeah, I didn't hate that one. That was cool.
Yeah, like I said, definitely one of my favorites in the series.
Other than the racism and fake Laotian and all that.
Yeah, I liked the plot, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I like like I said, I like the kid-centric plot of them just going on their own adventures, because it makes it seem so much bigger, because I can definitely relate to that kind of stuff
Oh, yeah.
from when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, you've seen piles of beer cans and holes.
Absolutely. There's a specific tunnel in the woods that I would go to.
That's funny.
There's a little nest down there that looking back, people were fucking down there.
God damn. That's nasty.
But it was fun.
Was it hard to get to?
No.
It was pathed?
It was, it was kind of worn down. It was just in like a sumac forest, so it was inconvenient to get to.
I see.
But you could get to it.
How did you know about it? Did you learn? Did some of your friends show you, or what?
No, I think I had found it on my own, kind of independently, and then it was kind of my idea to go there with my drinking friends when I was younger, and then we would just kind of go there and explore from that point.
Huh.
So yeah, I didn't go there to seek that place out. I went there to just be in a new place.
Oh, okay. That's about that for that episode.
Yep. On to the next one.
Beep beep, I'm a sheep, beep beep, fuck. I'm a big
Yeah,
ass sheep.
get it out of
I'm
your
a big ass sheep.
system.
Fuck yeah. Oh yeah. Doing lots of shit. Fuck yeah. Bobby's dancing. Not supposed to say that because he's on the screen, but you're not supposed to say it because he's on the screen. Oh yeah. Fuck everything.
All right.
Huh?
Good?
Am I good?
Are you good? That's the question.
You think I'm good? You think this is fine?
You come to me and think that I'm good.
The day of my daughter's daughters.
The day of my daughter's reckoning. That dead.
I couldn't think of anything. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. I didn't hear anything rolling through the burrows of my head, echoing out my mouth.
Episode 9, The Company Man. Hank brings Bobby to work for a school report about people he admires. Buck Strickland comes in and tells Hank about a new sales opportunity, which is the first mention of Thatherton Fuels. Hank meets his client, Mr. Holloway, and struggles to keep his interest due to him being infatuated with Texas culture instead of sales. His competitor Thatherton comes in to try to steal Hank's customer away. Hank makes up stories to entertain Mr. Holloway, but gets increasingly annoyed about his lack of decency. Hank breaks his morals by taking Holloway to a strip club in a final attempt to gain Mr. Holloway's sale. Hank eventually gives up and lets him go to Thatherton instead. And Bobby finally finishes his report on his dad. And that's the episode.
I like this one.
Yeah.
It was outrageous and weird and...
Absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that happened that... It seems very mundane from the plot points that I wrote down, but there's just not really a way that I can write down the vibes of the characters.
To convey the strange cultural clashing that was going on.
Absolutely.
It's very cool. I like that one. Why is there a picture of Thatherton in the bathroom? What the hell was that supposed to mean?
That leads into my notes. There were so many goddamn errors in this episode. I feel like it was made at least during season 1, or at least was made for season 1, because this was just really bad. And that wasn't a picture. That was a window. Judging
What?
from... Yes, that was a window.
That looked like a picture. It looked like a framed picture.
Not only that, it's the exact same asset as Strickland Propane. It just said Atherton Fuels on it.
Oh my
It
God.
even had Hank's car on it.
No way.
Yes.
Oh no, that's horrible.
It was... I don't know if it was meant to be a whole different place or if it was meant to be a flashback, but either way, it was really confusing.
It was.
And the frame of the bathroom window, it changed twice.
Oh my God.
When you looked out it was just a solid window pane.
Yep.
But in the background, it was a double pane.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Even the backgrounds were the worst. When he was driving home, Dale's house was just a mirrored Hank's house instead of Dale's actual house.
What the hell?
Yeah, I had to look at that scene so many times because I was like, wait, does Dale's house really just look like that? No, Dale's house is like a grayish blue and it's a completely different pattern, but in this one it was literally exactly Hank's house. It was just mirrored.
That's weird. They're just trying to save time, huh?
Probably. They must have either ran down on the budget or something. Which is what makes me think that this was made in season 1 because they didn't have to think of the continuity of Dale's house
That's
being
true.
a separate thing. I don't really know if anybody knows because I didn't look anything up. If anybody knows the production of episode 9,
Comment.
yeah, let me know, please.
Yeah.
Because this was strange and just there was just so many just awkward movements. There was also a time when they're in that construction site where Holloway turns over to the side and is talking, but his lips don't move.
Don't move a bit.
It's a still frame.
They're just not moving. I wrote that down too.
Good.
I was like,
It was awful.
what just happened? Oh my God. It made me double take and pause and recheck it.
There has to be more than that, but those are all the ones that I wrote down.
Yeah, that was horrible. That was funny. I just started laughing verbally to myself. Like, why are his lips not moving? What the hell's going on? And it was just that like quarter side shot, and you could tell his lips aren't moving.
Ugh.
It was eerie.
Even the look of the animation looks weird and grainy, kind of like season 1. In season 2, the animation's a little more polished.
And I don't even understand why. It's different.
Yeah.
If it was written in season 2, just in the same spot as all these were, there's nothing like asset heavy where you'd need all the attention towards that in the episode.
Exactly.
So it's just I like to theorize that with you.
Maybe.
The caddy plate that they had, the Cadillac.
Yeah.
It had 69 on it.
Good.
It was 1L7Z69.
Nice.
That was funny to me. And then Hank says, "That horn is for highway emergency use only." Well, was it Bill or Dale in the front seat honking?
I don't know which one's in the
One
front,
of
but
those two.
the guys were in the car.
Peggy saw Jason Alexander in Camelot and liked him.
Yes.
I thought that was great.
I want to see Jason Alexander on Broadway.
Seinfeld would be great as a Broadway.
Oh my fucking god,
as a
that'd
Broadway
be
show. That'd be really funny. I love it. This weird, tiny, like, all these people in this universe love, like, Seinfeld, and they're all their characters. I love that. That's a fun niche to show. It just shows character, in my opinion. It's nice. Bobby is all of us wanting to get the facts, while Hank is dreading media full of bias and lies.
Yeah. Hank really does like to take the pleasant lie over the truth sometimes.
The punchy truth.
Sometimes Hank can be the source of truth, but most of the time he's just the source of his own ignorance.
True. I could say that. Bobby, he's never... I don't know why Bobby's so damn woke.
Yeah.
Like, he's just 100%...
He's very simple-minded, but when he thinks about things, he comes to a conclusion, I tell ya.
It's great. Gosh, the bad salesmanship from Hank.
Yeah.
That was cringy as hell. Just seeing him try to, like...
It's so tacky.
Here's the 12 things, and that's on purpose.
Yeah, yeah. It's obviously satirical to be just weird and cringy.
The duality of him being able to or not being able to sell when he's a salesman, and a good one. It's just funny to me.
Episode 10, Bobby Slam. This one hits a bit personal for me because of very similar situations in my childhood
Oh, really?
due to sexist discrimination in sports.
Oh, yeah,
at
that's
school.
right.
All right. Episode 10 starts with Bobby and Connie are playing wrestling games when Peggy is asked to be the coach of the girls' sports team at the middle school. At the school, Bobby chooses to go down the wrestling team, which guarantees him a spot on the team. Hank is proud of Bobby, and Peggy struggles to coach with limited funding and respect, reminding her of her own childhood. Connie asks Peggy to join the wrestling team, but is denied by everyone, due to it being a boys' sport in their mind. Peggy goes to Connie's parents to convince them, and they all go to the school to get her on the team. The wrestling coach lets Connie join after being threatened with a lawsuit, but then announces that there will no longer be a guaranteed spot on the team, pitting Bobby and Connie against each other. The guys are upset about a girl being on the team, and Hank decides to help train Bobby for the wrestling tournament. The kids at school ridicule both Bobby and Connie regrets her decision to join the wrestling team in the first place, and Peggy takes it really personally. At the day of the tournament, both of the kids decide to have fun and play professional-style wrestling rather than the Olympic-style wrestling that they were taught, making both of their parents proud that they had fun. And that's the end of the episode.
This one was pretty good.
Yeah, it's very frustrating because of the sexism and how similar it was to my experiences.
Yeah.
But it's just true. I liked that they reached that conclusion.
That was nice.
Where they had fun rather than having one of them be disappointed.
True.
And I like that the kids reached that conclusion on their own without having any interference.
That was really refreshing. I like that a lot too.
Yeah, and how everybody else enjoyed that way more than any other part of wrestling.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect everyone else to be excited about it too. They're all just like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, we're gonna watch the kids do some stupid shit because nothing matters.
Exactly.
It was great. Peggy's walking into the frickin' lit kitchen, and Hank's just like, where are you stationed today, soldier? And Peggy's just like, I'm teaching gym. And he's like, whoa now, that's serious, Peggy. And then Peggy's like, it's women's gym. He's like, oh, well, have a good day.
I hate it.
Oh my god.
Just the constant brushing off of stuff like that.
Man, that's Hank though.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
It's definitely a flaw showing episode.
Dooley peed in some kid's locker.
He did.
Why?
That's Dooley.
Just Dooley things.
I've peed in a locker before.
I can't believe you. I've never heard of that before. Anyone peeing in a locker? Anyone vandalizing lockers? I've only ever seen a kid have a microwave in his locker. And it never worked. Obviously, there's no fucking power in there, but he's just weird and he brought a microwave to school. That's the only thing I know about locker stuff, other than people keeping shit in it that they shouldn't. But peeing in one, I can't. That's stupid. That's weird.
I believe it was in elementary. I don't know, I was just bored. I squatted down.
Oh my god.
Let one loose.
That's dumb. You're stupid.
Fuck off. It was fun. I was thrilled.
Yeah, but at Dooley's age, you know better.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been like elementary school, middle school.
Was it your locker?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. Hank gets this dastardly question from Peggy. Peggy says, Hank, what if Bobby was a girl? And then Hank's just like, well, that's just it, Peggy. I don't think we have to worry about that anymore.
I swear there's like another episode where they say that.
Really?
I feel like there is.
Yeah, that's funny.
But it is very funny.
Man,
They
Hank's...
think Bobby is trans.
Yeah.
Trans rights. I think Bobby would probably... Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. He seems pretty fun.
Yeah, from my experience with like talking to trans girls and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got something there.
Yeah.
We don't know, but his character is something, that's for sure. Especially because it's voiced by a girl. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I hope he at least grows up to be bi.
That's the least a father could hope for. Not Hank, probably, but whatever.
Oh, no.
Women's sports are so much better.
Honestly,
Why
I
are they
love
so much
watching
better?
women's sports. Maybe that's the lesbian in me, but like, they're so much fun to me.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would, but it totally kind of feels like it's kind of more level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Considering with dudes sports, everything that I've watched with guy stuff, it's just like everyone's doing like there's only like 5 people that are carrying the whole team, and then it's
Yeah.
all just fucking testosterone running around and really
Yeah.
people getting hurt. And with women's sports, it's kind of more like normal, like what you should be watching.
From my experience, at least with high school sports, because that's really the most that I've seen, is that dudes, at least at a younger age, are way more competitive, and I think that throws the whole game off quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it's obviously a case-by-case basis. Not
True.
every dude is like this. Not every dude sports is like this. But
Right.
for girls, generally, from what I've seen, at least from my own high school, is that they seem to be more fun-oriented with the way that they play sports,
Right.
rather than just competitive. But there are some fucking overly competitive girls. I can tell you that from experience.
Mhm.
Fuck.
Yeah. I think boys just kind of get so carried up and they forget that they're in.
Yeah.
They're kind of like they're all playing a dance. They're not like,
Yeah.
this is my shot. I have to do this,
Mhm.
and then they fuck up, and then it's just annoying.
Yeah.
I think that's something a boy would have to deal with more.
Yeah, I think it's also just boys feel expected to play sports
True.
rather than, because obviously I'm sure a lot of them want to, but there has to be just a ton that just don't really care much for it, but they feel obligated to just join a sports team because that's what everybody else does.
That's exactly how I felt when I was younger. I 100%, like my parents, they're like, what do you want to do? You want to do extracurricular after school? What do you want to do? And they kind of forced me to do it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice that they did, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I was too shy. I have social anxiety like a motherfucker, especially back then.
Mhm.
But they were like, what do you want to do? And my brother was already in soccer, and my sister had done that before my brother. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just do soccer. It sucked. It was horrible. I wouldn't have done it if they hadn't pushed me, because it's just that weird, like, and I felt like I needed to. I felt like my parents wanted me to do it
Hmm.
just because that's what I'm supposed to do. As a boy, I'm supposed to do sports, especially in this town, God forbid.
Yeah. There's been a lot of dudes that I've met that just felt the same way, and a lot of trans women that I've met too have. So they've been like kind of forced socially to join sports when they just really didn't care and they didn't feel comfortable doing it. Some of them, of course, just did it because they enjoyed it, but there are way too many people who feel socially obligated to join sports.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I used to just see all the kids around me, and they'd all be like hockey or like
Yeah.
baseball, like the big ones. And like we didn't have much of a soccer presence around here. We don't. So I was always doing like that, like out of school extracurricular. There wasn't
Yeah.
a team that I was on in school. So I always felt outcast like that. I was just not like with everybody else. And that added to the social anxiety and feeling like I was different from everyone.
Yeah. As school sports, specifically high school and under, they're definitely way more competitive focused. They tend to pit the kids against each other.
That's not fun.
If sports would be so much more fun for the kids if it was taught as just like a game.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because like when I joined the girls' archery team when I was in middle school, high school, that was really fun because it was outside of the school. It wasn't very competitive, and it was kind of like an individual, like you just show up one day a week at least, and then just shoot, and then you write your scores down.
Oh, really?
And then, yeah, and that made me want to go. It made me strive, and I won first place in it.
Oh,
It was
man.
impressive.
That's
I liked
amazing.
it because of it. I would have hated it if I had gone through something through the school.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I probably might have bit the bullet on that one.
Mhm.
But with my soccer stuff, the most I ever did was get hit in the stomach and cry.
Yeah.
That's all I ever did.
And when I joined curling, it was the same thing too. I never really placed very well, but I had so much fun doing it because it was just everybody was there for fun. There wasn't really a tournament because we didn't write down our scores there, which is what I think made the curling club more fun for me anyway.
True.
I don't like when there's like a tournament when you're writing down your scores. It makes it feel way more official than it is.
It shows that someone is superior to someone else, which is not okay.
Yeah, it makes it feel set in stone. Like somebody can look at that and be like, "Oh, that person is bad. That person's good." It was just we did it and we played, and then after the next game, the scores were completely wiped from our memory, and then we just played another game.
That's great.
It was great.
There's no place in children's sports for
Yeah.
competition, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For like showing who's better, because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter if we're all kids. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's definitely parts where there should definitely be competition when like football, when they're competing against other schools and stuff. But there should at least be an option that isn't competitive in nature, where it focuses more on the actual playing and athleticism of it, rather than, pitting kids against each other.
Right, kind of like non-sport, like extracurricular stuff does, kind of like chess club. They're not like, oh, he's played the best. They're just like, oh, you won this game. Okay, let's go on to the next game. That's great. And it's just, there's respect to that.
Yeah.
But there's some other extracurricular stuff that has nothing to do with sports or competition. And one of them is yearbook, where Connie, she said, maybe I should join the yearbook, right?
Yeah.
Because she couldn't do the sports. They shut her down. And Peggy's like, yearbook is a shameful, squalid waste of time. Don't you give up on sports.
Absolutely.
I haven't met a good person that's been on the yearbook in my school, that's for sure.
Maybe I'm biased, but from the school we went to in our graduating class, good Lord, they were the worst of the worst.
They just hated being good people.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But yeah, that's just funny. That hits home. Imagine not having co-ed bathrooms in your house like Dale does.
Yeah.
What? What did you just say, Dale? We don't have co-ed bathrooms in our house. Okay, Dale. You can do that wherever you want, just not here. That's just, oh man. Dale is such a character.
It's strange. I don't understand people that think.
Oh man, Min really is my inspiration in life. It's just...
She's way more fleshed out as a character as the series progresses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said in the previous one, in the first episode she's not a very well-rounded character.
Nope.
But in this one, she's very nice.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'd say she's my favorite in this one, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though she has such a small role, it's a pivotal role. It's good.
She has like a personality coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than just being a castaway character just to give Conaway.
Mm-hmm. I'm danged here. I'm royally danged. From Bobby.
He's afraid to swear.
I love it. Does he ever swear in the series?
He says hell yeah.
Oh, man. That's great.
Because Hank gives him permission.
Oh, yeah, that's right. In
Yep.
the truck. Yeah,
Yep.
that's later, though. That's way later.
I want to hear Bobby say fuck.
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 The quote was, oof, that's gotta hurt. Because it was wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I love that they went to like the fake wrestling, but then they all call that the real wrestling.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
I love how they flipped that on the head.
That's perfect. That was it for me. That's all I needed
Right,
to know.
on to the next one. Episode 11. The Unbearable Blindness of Laying.
Christmas!
Christmas. At Christmas, Hank is nervous about meeting his mother's new boyfriend. Hank is weirdly upset about her new boyfriend, Gary, partially because of his father's trauma, and partially because Gary is Jewish. Bobby and Gary bond, and Gary tries to talk to Hank about him and his mother, but Hank is very unwilling. The family leaves for a basketball game, and Hank accidentally walks in on his parents having sex, making him blind from trauma. Peggy takes Hank to an eye doctor, but Hank refuses to confront his emotions about what caused it. Gary sees how much Hank is struggling and decides to take him to his father's house for Christmas. Gary defends Tilly in front of Hank when Cotton disrespects her, and Gary decides to take Hank on the way back to a TV church that he claimed to like, to try to get his sight back and apologize to him. Hank finds a new respect for Gary after everything that happened and gets his sight back, and that's the end of the episode.
It's a Christmas episode!
Christmas!
I love this one. This one's great. It's just weird and funny to me. I love it. Man, Hank was so awkward in this one.
Yeah, it's so strange how shut in they are that they can't really react to somebody who's Jewish.
It's funny. It just, you'd think because he was like, a jock in high school and confident in his salesmanship and his career and every other thing that he's happy and nice about, that when sex is thrown into it, he's just like, ugh, I can't do it. Yeah. Why are, do you have any family members like that are just kind of like weirdly quiet and awkward towards topics? And
definitely. I don't know why sex is seen like that.
I have no idea.
Imagery, I don't.
Definitely feel it in my household.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Yeah. Can you really go blind from trauma? I wanted to know that. I didn't look it up because I wanted to ask you. See if you maybe
Yeah,
knew.
I don't know. I've heard of stuff similar to that, but I don't know specifically.
Blind. That's pretty intense for
Yeah.
trauma.
Although the thing that Hank's lie of him poking himself in the eye and the other eye shutting down, that is kind of based in truth. I don't think
Oh,
they
yeah?
intended it, but yeah, sometimes if one eye gets infected
Oh.
and shuts down, the other one will just be like, I can't go on living, and then it'll shut down as well.
Ooh, that's no
And
bueno.
we'll be blind.
I don't like that.
No, it's horrible.
Wow.
The body sucks.
Yeah, I love that scene where he's like, when you're willing to admit that you poked yourself in the eye, you can come back in. I'll fix you right up. That was funny to me.
Yeah, the eye doctor. He was the character for sure.
I liked him. Did you open the microwave before the ding? Says Peggy to Hank. That was funny to me.
I like how weirdly set in their beliefs they are in that
Yeah.
regard of just weird arbitrary things like that
Mm-hmm.
causing issues in their mind.
That was nice. How's the Jewish triggering you for your family?
I mean it's very the end, the post credit scene where he's just kind of weirdly whispering about the food. That is absolutely my family.
Are you gonna eat that?
I wonder who's gonna eat that piece.
It's a good piece.
I don't know why Jewish families, at least from my experience with my Jewish family, why they're so obsessed with other people eating the food rather than them eating the food. It's just, that's exactly it. That's a good piece. I wonder who's gonna eat that piece.
That's just so funny.
But if you were to like ask him, "Oh, do you want it?" You'd be like, no, not for me.
Not for me. You can have it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, you should have it, right?
Yeah, every time I go to my family members, they're just so weirdly offering about that kind of stuff. It's a very interesting culture.
That's cool. I wished I had family members that were nice like that,
Yeah.
but that's whatever. Can't grab the tree. That made me happy.
When he was pinning
fucking
up
yanks.
presents, yeah.
Yanks the tree off its stand, tips it
I
over.
loved that.
And then the rest of it, he's just sitting away, just staring at something else. Or not staring because he's blind, but he's just sitting up, looking the wrong direction. I didn't like how bad they showed his blindness, that he
Yeah.
couldn't, like, figure out where sound was.
Yeah.
That was kind of unrealistic.
Yeah, because when you're blind, you
can still hear.
Yeah,
Right. But, I mean, whatever. It was funny.
it was good.
Yeah. God, Cotton's Christmas. He shot the damn tree.
Yep.
That's
That's
so
Cotton.
outrageous. That's amazing.
That's how his character's written.
Shot the tree over. He definitely didn't go to safety.
Oh, no.
Shooting straight at the road.
No, I just went to he just went straight to the military.
Oh,
That's all
man.
the training he needed.
Fuck. Yeah. But other than that, I loved it. It was a
Yeah.
good one. And then that weird little, like, going to the church to heal Hank because he just didn't want to say that he's...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny to me.
Yeah, I like how it slowly made Hank respect Gary.
That was great.
Yeah, how he stood up for Hank's mother, and how, despite Hank being so rude to Gary, he still took him to the thing that Hank claimed that he loved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. He's really, as much of a weird, like, relationship he does have with being in the family, like, the way he is, he's such a kind, caring person. It's nice.
Yeah.
I don't think Hank even knows that. I think that's why he had a hard time
Yeah.
accepting him at first, because he did no kindness. He always only knew Cotton.
Yeah, that's what made him dislike him. Like I said, it's partially because of Hank's own trauma that he thinks that his mother's new boyfriend is just going to be another Cotton who will
Right.
mistreat his mother
Right.
when it wasn't the case.
Yeah, he was definitely looking for an
Yeah.
excuse to hate him. And then when he hugged him, that was funny
No.
at the beginning there. But yeah, that's all that is for me.
Did you get the foam finger?
Did
Yes,
you
Hank.
Did you get the one for basketball? Did you get the basketball one? Turns around. I love that shit.
All right. Final episode of this podcast, halfway through the season. Episode 12, Meet the Manger Babies. Hank struggles to repair his TV in preparation for the Super Bowl, and Luann is upset after Buckley is rude to her. At a garage sale, Luann finds a set of hand puppets, and Hank agrees to buy them for her. She has an idea to make a puppet show for the church, but the church is reluctant, but agrees anyway. Luann struggles to entertain the kids until Hank shows up to help the plot. Nancy Gribble agrees to show her manager Luann's show after her success at the church. Luann gets a spot on TV during the Super Bowl on a different channel and promises the role of God to Hank. Hank flakes out to watch the Super Bowl, which upsets Luann, and she struggles to perform without Hank, and Peggy rigs the TV to make Hank feel guilty. Hank shows up on the set at the last minute to save her performance, and that's the end of the episode.
I love the Manger Babies so much.
Manger Babies!
I love Luann so much in this one.
She's good.
She's great.
They finally figured out how to draw and animate Luann in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't very good previously.
They didn't have a really good framework at the start of this whole show. Oh man, I love this episode so much.
It's very good.
This is so far my favorite episode.
Really?
So far.
It's I'd say in the season it's one of the lower ones for me, but it is very good. It's very
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Hank keeps a refrigerator box pretty clean in the garage.
Yes, he does.
That was
You don't
funny.
know when you're gonna need a big piece of cardboard.
What is it
in the
with
garage.
parents
I
and
don't
grandparents?
know.
They just hoard shit that you just don't need.
I don't know. I think it is based on trauma of just it's a light form of trauma, but still trauma where they were in a situation where they really needed something, and then it just left a note in their brain that never leave that out.
True.
Because that's what I've noticed from working retail, and people, their reasoning for wanting me to double bag things is because they have had one experience in the past where a bag broke. So that is a small form of trauma that makes them afraid to never have one single bag again, even though it's going to be fine. It was just an isolated incident.
Right. Yeah, it's traumatic. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't be worried about it because I've come to terms with the fact that nothing matters, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I see where that could totally hit you. That's just great. They'd never used the cardboard box at the end anyway. Like, while Luann was making it, they're like, Luann asked the guys, like, how would you do it? And they'd all be like, all right, I'll do it. You know, they all jumped in like dudes do. That was funny to me.
Yeah, especially the guys in the neighborhood, because it's shown that they're just so bored and they love doing really mundane things. To the point where they, like, cleaned Hank's gutters for him because Bobby was doing it.
That's right, in the other episode.
Yep. So they're just begging to find something to do.
They do just drink all day at the fence.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I like the kind of time pacing in the show unintentionally, that it was just Christmas in the former episode, but now it's February during the Super Bowl.
True.
It's not too far off. It's not like a summer episode mixed with the Christmas episode.
And I'm sure they would have aired, I think it was once a month. Or wait, was it once a week?
Yeah, it's once a week.
Once a week? Yeah, that's great. I love that. Feels current.
Yeah.
But not current, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, I do like how King of the Hill just still stands up even 20 years later.
Yeah, it's kind of great. It's like a meme factory, honestly.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Just because of how much you can interject things into it, situations, just because of how broad it presents itself.
The end of the episode when Peggy was looking at the remote and seeing if it had batteries in it because she was changing the channel on Hank, you know? And then they're just like doing that, oh, but there wasn't batteries in it the whole time. Yeah. And then Bobby's like, oh, wait. Just fucking negate that.
Maybe it was after.
That was funny to me. That was great. I love that so much.
I liked that a lot.
Oh, man. Bill was being real weird after the credits there.
Absolutely.
He was just saying weird shit. This was a pretty decent set of episodes.
Yeah.
I never had any issues. Yeah,
like I said, season 2 and 3 tend to be what people remember the most of King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm. I remembered 2 or 3 of them from my childhood. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to really honestly watch them again, but I did because I wanted to.
Did you like how they were making bets on how long the national anthem would take?
That was awesome. My parents do the same shit, though.
Do they really?
Not on the length, but like... if it's going to be good or not. They'll take bets on if it's good.
That's pretty subjective, though.
That's just how they are.
I've thankfully haven't been much in a culture that does that.
Yeah. My dad's a huge football. He'll just watch football.
Yeah, my parents were never really into that. My dad likes hockey, but he would never obsess over it to that extent.
True.
He would never like bet on it.
Yeah.
He would just watch it. He liked it.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I'd hang out with your dad.
Yeah, he's nice.
He's nice. Hockey, though. I've been to one hockey game.
Yeah, my dad loves hockey.
Man.
It's fun to watch in person, but I couldn't do it on TV.
What if the Manger Babies were on a hockey team, just like the Wild Ducks?
Oh my god.
Like it was just the Manger Babies.
Manger Babies.
Manger Babies. Well, we did it again.
Yeah,
That was the end.
we finished.
Let's do a bit.
Okay,
Allie,
bit time.
where the
Yeah.
fuck are you right now?
I'm in front. I'm in front of the microphone.
I'm blind because Hank can't hear and see because I'm blind like Hank.
Hi, Hank.
I can't see you. What did you just say to me?
I said hi, Hank.
Hi, Hank. Anyway.
Wow, what a good bit.
You don't love me.
No.
You hate me so much.
Yes, as much as Hank hates Yankees.
Them dirty Yankees. Them Yorkshire Hankies. Wait, whoops.
Yeah.
Fucking slap my ass and call me Bobby.
No.